Yo, what is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to part 3 of our Pele in Football Manager experiment as part of my Football Manager Legends series. This is of course the first play we've done in this series. Playlist down below if you want to see more, should you be watching this a little way after this video's first come out. So anyway, today is part 3. If you missed the first 2 parts of the Pele series, I recommend you go check them out. In those we covered how he performed in the World Cups and kind of compared him more directly to Pele as a player in real life. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about Pele, how he changed over the course of his career, looking at his player stats at club level and a few other bits and pieces. So in front of you what you can see is Pele as I had him when I set him up. Just so you can see here his attributes. He's a very good player. He's pretty much the ideal complete forward. The only thing that really lets him down is his lack of strength. But that was kind of intentional. In terms of a few other little bits you might want to know about him himself, I had his current ability set at 170 when I started. It's worth noting that this is 6 months into the experiment, after he'd spent 6 months at Santos, so he had improved a little bit in that time, but 172 is current ability. I also set his reputation to 6,000 by default in the editor, but as you can see that's already really leaped up. I guess that's a combination of him just playing so well in the Brazilian Premier League, kind of catching the attention of other people. As you can see in his first year he did get 20 goals in 32 games in Brazil. So anyway, a few of the little bits going behind the scenes, or going on behind the scenes. I put his adaptability to 20. This just meant that it should Pele move countries, you know, he'd adapt quite well there. Given the fact he has lived in, of course, Brazil and then he moved to the US, I kind of guess that shows a degree of adaptability to move between multiple language speaking countries, so for that reason we set that at 20. You can also see gave him 18 loyalty, that of course being down to the fact that he spent so long at Santos in real life in his career. 20 professionalism and 20 important matches. Worth noting of course he did score a hat-trick in a World Cup semi-final, a brace in his first World Cup final, and that was all whilst he was 17, so that's reflected in his stats. In terms of his actual player attributes, the only things I didn't really give him were strength and jumping, just because he'd never really had that as a player. But anyway, I don't want to ramble too long this video, so we are now going to cut to Pele aged 38 as he retired from Real Madrid, quite a long way into the future, 21 years of history to cover here. So I will join you guys in a second where we'll take a look at how he ended up as a player and review his career here in Football Manager. Okay guys, so it is 2035, as we can see here, Pele retiring at the end of the year finally, aged 38. I'm going to be honest, this might be the best 38-year-old I've ever seen in Football Manager. Looking at his attributes here, you can see he's absolutely incredible. Just to put it into perspective, his current ability is only just lower than it was when I created him at 17. You can see his potential at 195, you know, very impressive. His reputation continued to rise. During this part of the video, you know, just throughout this bit here, I am going to have some mini pictures appear on screen showing some of his progression as a player. But anyway, you can see here Pele, he's improved a lot. He went from being a player with not the best mentals, but you know, some really decent physicals and some okay technicals, to really peaking and getting his technicals a few 20s but still lacking the mentals. And now aged 38 he really has come along, because you can see here all his mentals, all the key mentals that you could want in him as a player. You know, 20. His physicals have dropped off, but he's still got that natural fitness. He's still been able to play, and his technicals, you know, they're not quite what they were, but they're still incredibly impressive. Notably, his dribbling has really tailed off. That's quite surprising, really. But anyway, looking at his career stats here, you can see here obviously he moved from Santos, where we started him out, to Real Madrid for 21.5 million. And he's had a pretty darn impressive career. His average rating in the league games that he's played has been an 8.29. He's got 299 player of the matches in 806 games. That's more than 1 in every 3 games him getting player of the match, which is ridiculous when you consider he was playing for Real Madrid, and for a portion of that time would have been competing with Ronaldo and various other players in the Real side. Also got 593 league goals in 800 odd games. Again, really impressive. So anyway, a look at his biography. You can here, if we just go on to his overview again, you can see he's a Real Madrid legend, one of football's global superstars. Made his debut against Santos. He went on to make 553 appearances and score 146 goals for his country, and he's played for 1,111 games, and I don't even know what I've just hovered over there, but let's view the full bio. That's probably an easier thing to hit if it's going to load. Are we going to get the bio? We don't want the bio. The bio isn't working. Well, we can't have the bio, but he's played 1,111 games, and he's been rather incredible. I don't know why the full bio isn't working, but we are so far into the future at this point. The game really does struggle to load. But anyway, let's have a look at his awards here. So you can see this year he won the Spanish League Player of the Year for this last season, aged 37 at the time of winning the award. If we look at the history of who's won it, it's been Pele a rather lot winning the Liga BBVA Player of the Year. If we look at the top goal scorer, you can see again he's had a clean sweep since 2017, with the exception of 1 year where Reisinger, who plays for Barcelona, actually I think they might have, yeah, they did. They had the same amount of goals, but Pele didn't get it because he'd played more games. But regardless, that's just an incredible record for him to be top goal scorer that many years in a row. Other things that we can look at here, if we click back on Pele, and then we look at his history and his achievements, with the addition of obviously his incredible record as a player in Spain. You can see he's been in the Team of the Year and a lot, but in terms of actual competitions won, he's won the league with Real Madrid. I don't know if we can get a summary of how many times he's won it, but it's a lot of times. If we look at Real Madrid's past league positions, you can see they've actually been kind of finishing first and second a fair bit. Perhaps not won the league as many times as you'd expect, really. But regardless, Pele, when he's played, he's been absolutely superb for them. If we just take a look here, we can also look at some of the landmarks of his career. I have a feeling there's going to be a hell of a lot to load here, so we'll give it a moment, see if there's anything we can deduce from this. And as you can see here, looking at some of his other stuff he won competition-wise, the League, Spanish Cup, the European Europa League, European Super Cup he won with Real Madrid. Did they get a Champions League? Did they get a Champions League? That's the question. It doesn't look like they did. That's a little bit surprising. No, they did. I'm missing it. 2021, Pele did get his hands on a Champions League, which is pretty impressive. I am surprised at the lack of league titles won by Real Madrid all in all, but he's had a rather impressive year. Right, anyway, if we go onto the World tab now, I don't want to drag this video out for too long, but if we go to the World page, can we go to World? Can we go to World, please? It's there. Jack, open your eyes. And then we go to... Where are we going? Where are we going? Award winners. So looking at the World Golden Ball, you can see Pele's dominated it again, which is ridiculously so when you look at it. He really was the player of his generation in game, which is kind of what he was in real life, I guess. That's kind of incredible for him to win it that many times in a row. I think he's done slightly better than Messi there. If we look at World Player of the Year again, he's won it most years, a few exceptions, but still a very, very dominant record. Interesting to note that he didn't really start breaking through into all these awards until 2018, so that would have been right as kind of Messi and Ronaldo tailed off. If we look at the World Team of the Year, you can see here for the all seasons, is Pele going to be here? Pele, but I don't think he's there. So he's not there for the World Team of the Year for all years. If we look this year, he was on the bench for 2034, up front for 2033, 2032, 2031. He was on the bench again in 2030. You guys get the idea. He's been in the World Team of the Year an awful lot. I think he probably has been there every single year in some capacity. As I flick through this, yeah, a little bit ridiculous. You'd have to say. Even in 2016, he was on the World Player of the Year, and that was right as he first made his move. That would have been like 1 year, I think, into his career at Real Madrid. But anyway, that wraps up Pele. I think he's been absolutely incredible. I'm actually surprised at how well he's done, despite kind of the foundations that I gave him to really become one of the world's best. The way that he's dominated it, you know, you'd expect maybe a few regens to surpass him, but they really haven't been able to achieve that. But yeah, very impressive. Guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button. This wraps up part 3 of this save. If you want to see a legend in the future and you've got an idea, feel free to suggest it in the comments. If you look down in the comments and one that you'd like to see has already been recommended, thumbs up that comment. While you're down there, also thumbs up the video. If you're new to my channel, hit subscribe. Down in the top of the description will be a link to a playlist of all my Football Manager Legends episodes, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time where we will be starting a brand new legend with a brand new team. So I'll see you guys then.